Okay, so you saw that, right? Saw that there? So, as you can see, as I've said before, so as soon as I stepped through the door there, the door immediately opened upstairs. Guy comes down and goes out and stands in front of the house there. So like I said before, we can establish for sure there's surveillance in the house. I've shown that time and time again, so I'm just going to wait and let him do the little act, and I'll just wait here. Yeah, that was timed so that as soon as I opened the door here, he comes down and then goes out. I've shown that countless times. So clearly we have surveillance inside of the house. So I'll just wait a few minutes. He's been given instructions to go and wait out in front of the house there, so I'll just wait. Time right now is 9:03 p.m. Glasses are a little blindfolded away. Same act over and over, as you can see. That was precise too. That was as soon as I opened the door, you could hear it. And you could see the door opening at the top of the stairs though. The time on the body camera is pretty close to accurate, so. Yeah, see now, coming back in there. Sounds like somebody just came back in. Because they realized I'm not going out right when they expected that I would, so. And now that's directly up here, you can hear shifting furniture around. So it's the guy up here that they had to do it, like I thought they would. See if we can go a second to now and we get the same thing. So that's his job, to do things like that, to just wait till I'm going to leave and go up front. You saw the exact same things with that guy who was there before. Exact same behavior. Okay, let's try again now. I'll be uploading another video tomorrow too, so I hope they enjoyed that one today, or more tomorrow. If we get any more activity, we'll just come back down and wait again. See, the reason he came back in was because I didn't go out, right? So they expected I would go out, and as soon as I saw that, I just came back in here. So they have him go and stand out there for like a couple minutes, and then goes back in. It's the slave assignment they have to do. Second time's the charm. Didn't want to stand up front, I guess. Didn't want to stand up front, I guess. Notice that, right? That was time for when I came out of there. Notice where he's standing too, right? So, like I said, the door opened as soon as I came out. I was told to go and stand out there. See how long it goes on. So I'm going to go back in for that and see how long it goes on. So that would be the fine upstanding person who was making all the noise in that other video that I played. Banging things down at like 2 in the morning till 4. So tonight, as I exit right on cue, boom, he's right out the front door. As soon as I open the door, he's out the front door. And I looked up, I'm pretty sure I captured it with the footage from the glasses, with the door closing just up in front of me and him going out front. And I waited for a few minutes. I thought maybe he'd gone back in because I heard something up there, but then I came out and you could see he was standing in the driveway there. So I just went around to where the garbage area was, just to make it, seem random, and then came back inside to wait some more, just to let him stand there, because he'd been told to stand there till I came out and left the property. So then I said, okay, I'll go back in, I'll wait, let him stand out there, make it as awkward as possible for him. So he then proceeded to stay there for a little while longer, and then I waited, and you could hear him come back in, and the noise starting a little bit upstairs, directly above. So I can establish that's the person who was doing that. And like I expected too, this is the exact same behavior as that guy who I showed you, who I was going to press the charges against, but for the harassment and stalking and all the other stuff, the threat that he made. He's exhibiting precisely the same behavior as that guy was. Like the noise, excessive noise at late hours, going out and standing there when I'm about to leave, same things. He'll probably start stalking too, I don't doubt it, but he hasn't really done that yet. I haven't seen him showing up where I am. But if he does, that'll be even more evident. But what we have there is, this helps me too, because it shows there's surveillance in the home for sure. You're not going to have that happen that many times. With them doing that with pinpoint accuracy with when I'm leaving, if there isn't surveillance in the home. So it's further proof of complete invasion of privacy, illegal invasion of privacy, right there. But with CSIS, they can break the laws. They don't care about the laws. They are above the law. So. But it does provide more concrete evidence that it's them doing these things, because they would be the ones who would be able to go forward with such a thing, who would be given the resources to go forward with such a thing, with spying on law-abiding citizens in their homes. So, you see that there tonight. I'll go down here. And some other people. This mask. Oh, it's ridiculous looking, that one. They have some of them that look more ridiculous than others. That particular type of mask looks so absurd. It's like almost like a flamingo face or something. Or a pelican face. Like the frontal section of the mask is so elongated. I mean, it just looks ridiculous. Oh, is this that guy that came running down the stairs? That is him too, I think. Yeah, that's that same guy who came waddling. Now looking back now. Yeah, it's the guy who came running down the stairs. You can see him. Notice looking towards me now. Just an act. And okay, he's coming back now. I'm gonna go back around here. You'll see. That was the guy who came really quickly, abruptly behind me and was running full speed down the stairs and ran past me. His job has obviously just been to get off in front of me. Stairs and ran past me. His job has obviously just been to get off in front of me, walk up in front here. He stared at a phone there, and now he's going around to... So you notice initially he turned left. When he first crossed, he turned left, looked at a phone. Now he's going back around to the area where I would normally go on my way to work. Let's see if he's going to go into where I'm working, or try to. Let's see. I suspect there's a good chance he might. Yeah, it was obviously they wanted me to see him, because he came running like behind me on the staircase, and he could have taken the escalator down or the elevator too. No one else was there, and he came running behind me abruptly. You'll see him in the footage. Then he crosses immediately, turns left, stops, stares at a phone, then comes back around the other way, and it looks like he's going to go towards where I'm working. Let's see. Constable here, I can see this. Might be. Yeah, it looks like he's going up there. No, it's too far. Let's see where he's going to go. Is he going to turn? Oh, he's turning back again now, is he? Is that him there? No, it's somebody else. Oh, no, that's him. Okay, now he's turning back again. I'm just going to go back over here, just get a gander of him. So he basically went to close to where I'm working, turned left first, then he turns the other way, goes back, walks up towards where I'm working again, and then comes back in the opposite direction. It's obviously so I'll see it. You'll see him here. And he's coming back around again here. And we'll just see here. You'll see him. Same guy. I thought at first that he was going to cause a ruckus on the train or something. They're gonna have him do some street theater, probably on drugs or something, probably a drug addict they're using. Now he's gonna go back, right? He's gonna go back, you'll see. So basically he just came to run up behind me initially, then he gets off, and again he looks over so I'll see it, right? He crosses the street where they knew I would be crossing. First he goes one direction, turns back, goes the other. Now he's just gonna go back and get on the train. It's all a skit, so I'd see it. It's the same guy there. He's gonna go back now. His assignment's done. I thought he was gonna go right to where I'm working, but he didn't. But he looked over at me. You can see a number of times. And yeah, so that's the skit there. Pretty sure I caught him with the body cam when he was running down the stairs too. Oh, let's go here, a second here. Yeah, he's going back in now. See? Just want to see. Yeah, he's going to use the same ticket. So his whole purpose, you understand, he got on right, ran up behind me on the stairs, so I'd see him abruptly. Got on the train, went to exactly, got off right in front of where I was going to go, so I'd see him. Went one direction, turned back, went the other, then he's going back to get on the train. So it's all just a skit. He was told to do that. You can see they got a OC Transpo actor over there having a smoke, standing in the thing there. I guess that's an OC Transpo guy. Go around this way a second here. Yeah, he's gone back on. He's gone back on there now. You can see here. I'm back on there now. I'm early tonight anyway. Quite early, so. And look at, check it out, check it out, check it out. Okay, check out how this is timed now. Right away as I get here. See the car number. 7434 right there. 7434. Of course. So that was timed with the skit with that guy, and then police right away. 7434 right there. 7434. Of course. So that was timed with the skit with that guy, and then police right away. right there. 7434. Of course. So that was timed with the skit with that guy, and then police right away. Just as I come out, you can see how that was all timed. So, just to reiterate what occurred, as I'm entering the train station, there's no one else there. The guy comes running behind me. Immediately as I get on the staircase to go down, he's running up behind me, so I kind of move so he can go down. He dashes past me, continuing on down, and then I see him down below there. And it sounded like he was yelling and stuff too, so I thought, oh, okay, it's probably some stupid street theater. So then as I exit the train, and you could look, okay, so take a look at the street here. Take a look at how secluded the street is. There's no one here, and the police just show up there as I come out. So, anyway, so he comes down, he's running, like full tilt, running behind me. Aggressively, so I kind of move over. He runs past down the stairs. I see him down below. He's positioned there. You could tell he's acting really weird. As I get off, they obviously knew I would recognize that as nothing more than theater, and that he was sent to do that. So then as I get off, he gets off, just waits. He waits for me to come down, because I hesitated upstairs just to take a look down and see if there are any cars lingering over there on the other side, as I often do. And as I did that, he waits down below. He waits for me, so because the whole thing was supposed to be so that I would see him in front of me. So as I come down, the surveillance rope, or this, probably a drug addict they're using just by his behavior, childish behavior and whatnot. He exits just in front of me, so I'll see him. He waits first. He waits for me to come out. Exits in front of me. Crosses the street right where they knew I was going to cross, at the exact location. First he turns left, then he turns back the other way, pretending he doesn't know where he's going. Stares at a phone first. Stops and stares at a phone. Then he starts walking up towards where I'm going to be going on my way to work. Then as I start to cross, he then turns back and comes back the other way,
going right back towards the station, the train station, and going back in again. So that's also, I'll see it, so I'll know that it was intentional, and you could clearly see that that he was told to do that too. And then right after that, immediately after, as I cross over, the police drive up on this side. Look at the street here. Look at the street here, okay? All quiet, and the police intentionally drive up. I got the car number too, so so that's that for tonight. Street theater. Looks like some skate here. Some street theater. Sky. Looks like an act. Parliament Protective is there too. Parliament Protective Services. Look at this one. Street theater. He's gone. Let's see here. As soon as I go out, alright, I'll go back. I could say that. As soon as I step out. Minutes later. So as you can see by the timestamp, it's approximately 5 minutes later. We'll try again. We'll see.
Next time I have some more. So that was done as well. So I wait for those two people to leave. After I go out, they have another guy outside walking in right as I leave. That's exactly timed as I came back out there. I just went to put in the stuff in the recycling bin, and they have another guy waiting creepily out here who walks up to the door and goes in right after I've left. Who was originally standing there, who waited again, and then came back up to the door. As you can see, I don't have any interaction with them. I don't say anything to them when they're sent to do these things. Purposes, they're trying to get you to accuse them or say something, and they already have scripts that they're told what to say if anything like that is said. So you can see very clearly there. I think that might be the guy who was one of the two that was originally standing there. And when I went back in, you could see I purposely went back in and waited. So that I would come back out and see that they weren't there. He was probably positioned just on the street here, and then again he walks up right to the door as I leave. So you can see the same skits. I've shown these exact same things occurring for 3 years. There's absolutely zero possibility that you could do that if there wasn't surveillance in the house to know when I'm leaving. So we have more clear proof there of CSIS utilizing surveillance to literally spy on people inside of their homes. As you can see there, the QR code on the side of that condo that's just about finished. Coming back to what I had been saying before, why do you think it is that, hold on, I'll wait till I pass the act here. People just standing in the middle of the street here staring at phones. And just quickly pass them. Gotta start the slave device and get instructions. Not allowed to breathe without it. Notice the timing there? Okay. As soon as I get there, stares at the phone, waits, starts to move as soon as I get there. So, yeah, so coming back to that point that I was making before, why do you think it is that with the cost of housing being so incredibly high in Canada, all throughout the country, why would they still be continually building more and more condos and townhouses everywhere? And I think the answer is pretty obvious. Because they're going to put people up for free in these condos and townhouses. And the reason they utilize condos and townhouses in such a way, see another guy over there wearing red just standing there on the street, is because they want everyone in close proximity to each other. And that's all part of the system, so that if they want to target anyone or whatever, they can immediately start the usual routines with, you know, your person up above slamming things down, on the floor doing noise harassment. They'll do same time exit entry. It's very easy to do that if you're in one of these communities of condos and townhouses, because people are so close together. And that's all part of the system. You see that exact same system in all of the countries where full-blown communism is in effect too. They want everybody nestled very close together so they can control these quote-unquote communities.
And you'll notice a repetition over and over again of that word, community, community. They keep saying it no matter what the subject is. They always bring that up because they want to normalize that word, because it's all about collectivism, and that's what the whole communitarian system is. It's about collectivism, and it's about control of these communities, essentially. And so what they'll do is they'll bring people in who they're going to use in other ways, and then they'll offer them as bait to draw them in and to get them to partake in such things. So, walk down here for a second here. They'll offer them free accommodation. So there'd be no logical reason for continuing to build new luxury condos that are obviously going to be, you know, fairly expensive, when you already have people who can't afford housing. It's way too high, the cost of that type of housing. So what they do in a lot of these communist countries, you know, China, North Korea, I know North Korea is just like essentially a proxy state controlled by the CIA, but what they do still is they will have citizen operatives to enlist these people. They'll offer them free accommodation, but of course you have to do things in return for this, and that accommodation belongs to the state. So anytime you don't follow instructions or do what you're told, they can just seize that, they can kick you out, because it's, you know, property of the state. And this comes back to how they're going to do the whole thing with seizure of property. They don't have to do it really in any forceful way if you get people into that situation. So you draw them in by offering them free accommodation and some perks for doing things. You can see this here. And some perks for doing things. I'm just sitting there. For doing things like that, like stalking people, whatever, doing assignments, which are the same as what they would have people involved in the Stasi doing in East Germany. So with the communitarian system, it's essentially just communism minus the violence. They're not using brutal repression or violence, but everything else is in place. So they'll offer people, see another dog walker up there, they'll offer the free condo or townhouse. And again, they want people in condos and townhouses because they want everyone close together. They don't want anyone living off grid. That's another reason for these intentionally set fires, to force everyone into these smart cities. And this is what it's going to be. So, you know, there's no logical reason for continuing to build more and more condos all the time when people can't even afford that type of housing, unless you intend to do something like what I said, put them up for free, and then these people again become essentially government snitches, people who work for the state, and they get the free accommodation and sometimes free vehicles on condition that they do these assignments that they're told to do, and they don't question it. They have to sign non-disclosure agreements, I'm sure, and so again, they're also told even what clothing to wear. So you essentially assign away most of your rights as a human being for free accommodation and a few perks. And that's why they had to condition people for years into the love of materialism above all else to be able to do this, because that's all people care about now, you know. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense on any level to continue to, obviously somebody's paying for these buildings, for these condos and, you know, these townhouses to be built, and that's all they are, townhouses and condos everywhere in Canada. They don't want people living independently or in any you know, remote rural areas. They want everyone to be a part of this control system. It's all about control, and in those condos as well, I think a lot of the people, what they're agreeing to is having surveillance within the condos. Maybe they don't all know about it, but there's surveillance in all those new condos and townhouses. Rest assured of that, and they are watched, just as I've shown there's surveillance in the place where I'm living now. So anyway, yeah, I mean, think about that. Just think that over. Why would they continue to build all these condos and townhouses everywhere? Like this one right here. I don't think it's open yet, but they're going to open it soon. And you can see, of course, the QR code over there too. They're trying to normalize that everywhere, because that's what you're going to have to use to pay for anything in the coming years. So they put it everywhere just to get people used to seeing it, to subconsciously program people to see it everywhere, the QR code. Look at man on the left. Usually, if they do have one, it can be on this side. But I haven't been going down here, so yeah, no one there. Let's go down here. Yeah, so getting back to what I was saying there, so basically, they want everyone in, first of all, they want to force everyone who lives away from the cities into the cities. And that's why you have these intentionally set fires. There's no such thing as a wildfire. Again, these are just lies, obviously. Doesn't take much to figure that out. Dry ground doesn't just spring up on fire. But they're going to say it does because Theresa Tam says so, or Bill Nye says so. So believe it. Believe the scientific dictatorship. When they tell you dry ground just springs up on fire for no reason, when it wasn't doing that for the previous 2,000 years. You understand? So it's just nonsense. They have to make up the most absurd lies imaginable to justify this. So it's arson. They're burning down a lot of the forested areas. By 2030, how much more of that will have been done? Well, probably a lot. There's not going to be a lot of that left in the future, because they want to force everyone into these smart cities to be controlled, in this control system, to live within the surveillance state. And you can already see that's in place now. When I walk through Ottawa there, you can see how obvious that is. You have people just standing there waiting. The moment I get there, boom, stares at a phone, walks on. The dog walkers synchronized precisely when I get there. It's literally like you have these people who have to do these things, and they don't even know who I am. It's not even anything personal. It's just something they have to do. Whereas there's a difference between that and like an actual perpetrator who gets off on doing these things. These are people who have to do these things because they've signed on, and they're part of that system. And most of the people, unfortunately, who live in these smart cities are part of that system. And they get added perks and benefits for being a part of it. But they also have to play their roles and do their part. You know, they have to fulfill their end of the bargain. And that means doing things like that. So it's all about collectivism, and they want people in condos or townhouses because then you're always within close proximity of your neighbors. And anytime they want to label somebody a dissident or put them on a watch list, they can do that immediately. And everyone around you is going to essentially target you in that way. They may not all want to do it. Some of them may, you know, have apprehensions, but they've already signed on and they have to do that as part of their agreement. So we can draw a distinct difference. We can differentiate between the perp who enjoys doing these things, who they enlist, people who are like sociopaths, people with no conscience, psychopaths, who get off on doing these things and like it, and they've been told you can do this with no repercussions, with people who kind of just begrudgingly do it because they have to. And so they're going to send the perpetrators to do more things that are really provoking in more serious ways, you know, attempting to provoke altercations and things like that. Whereas the common people, they're just going to have them do something like that, like, you know, show up with a dog at an intersection right when somebody gets there. Something very basic that can be easily dismissed with plausible deniability unless you film it and show how often it happens. So yeah, this is the system they have set up, the communitarian system in Canada, and it's in place in all of the Five Eyes countries. Exact same routines, and they have just as many people in these other countries as well, who their job is to go online and cover these things up. So to create false narratives, to go online and pose as people who are being harassed and instead act crazy to discredit them. They've put a ton of money into that, their online discrediting system. And for every one person who tries to expose this online in a credible way, they're outnumbered 100 to 1. So a lot of them are just going to give up and understand, so this person's going to cut across here, you'll see. That would be the field there to the right where I was going to go. I'm going to cross back here. Like I said, if I come up this way, they send people. And if I go down there, they also do skits. So yeah, so that's the thing is, for every one person who would try to expose some of these things in a credible way, they just flood the internet with people who are paid to act crazy, while mixing in some of the real tactics that are used in the harassment campaigns. And that's fully done just to discredit the people who would try to expose this, who are actually going through it. So 99.9% of the people who you see on YouTube posting about this subject are not actually going through it. They're just people who are there to discredit it. And it's not a situation where, you know, it's not as common as one might think to have a situation where they think, well, they just flipped or whatever and became part of the system. Very rare. Most of them are just actors and people who work for the communitarian system. Now you can see how many people they control in these cities just from walking down the street and seeing these things they do. How they control these people, literally like slaves. So obviously they're going to use those same people to go online and discredit because it's in their best interest. They will do anything possible to defend this system of slavery that they themselves have agreed to. And it's ironic that they are defending the very people who have enslaved them. And they'll do anything to do that. It's like Stockholm syndrome. But that's what it's like. It's like they'll do anything in their power to defend the very system that is enslaving them. And that's how far gone a lot of these people are, unfortunately. But it also comes back to the fact that a lot of them are from families who have raised them this way. So they've been conditioned since childhood into this mentality. I have to be careful, it's icy here. They've been conditioned since childhood into this way of thinking. And some of these families actually, I believe, I can't prove this, but I think, based on what I see, the way they control these people, so the way they control these people so thoroughly, I think that some of them, maybe the parents give them over to the state at a young age. I don't know for sure how it works, but you know, people who aren't a part of that system or whatever are not going to know about the inside operations. But in any major city in the Five Eyes countries, this is going on, and you can see it. There's no question about it. And you see the exact same things going on, as you do in countries with full-blown communism. You see all the condos and townhouses continually being created, and they want to force people out of any rural areas. There's going to be a lot more excuses. They're going to use manipulated weather, control of weather to do this, to force people out of those rural areas, as well as having people go and set these fires intentionally, which they've been doing for a number of years now, over a decade. And you know, the fact that you don't really have many people questioning that speaks volumes, because it's so obvious that the fires are being set intentionally. I even showed in that footage I have from a few years ago how they were using these citizen operatives to intentionally set fires in Toronto, right across from where I was living, and how the fire department were clearly a part of it. They knew the fires were going to be set because they were already positioned there. So they're literally having people commit crimes. And of course, your people like the fire department, the police, they're part of the communitarian system. But they're like the people in Orwell's 1984 who get more privileges. So you have your proletariat, those are the people who they just use like slaves, useful idiots. And the proletariat as described in Orwell's 1984, those would be those people. And then you have your other people who would be like Winston, who worked for the Ministry of Truth. They might have a few more privileges, but they're still essentially slaves and part of the system. But they're on a little bit of a higher level in the hierarchy than the basic proletariat and the people who they use as slaves. Now you can see as well in this system what they do is CSIS obviously exploits a lot of new immigrants by providing them with free housing and tricking them into agreeing to do these things. So there's exploitation going on there, there's deceit going on there. It's all about deceit, and that's how these operations are run. Anyway, it's cold here, man. My hands are cold.